last week we were talking about the basics of the law of attraction. If you still have doubts, hey, just ask us, because that's what we're doing the Sunday series for. But today we're going to probably answer a lot of those questions that you still have about how to use it in your favor. So that's why today I'm here with my friend April, and we're going to talk about why are emotions important, right? Because we talked about it, especially you were mentioning, right? You were talking about how emotions are important for your vibration. But I know some people may be asking themselves, but does this mean that being depressed attracts bad things, or what can you say about that?
Okay, so one of the big things when we're talking about law of attraction, how we make it work for us, is what we are, right? Our vibration, what we are is what we attract. So if I am in a constant state of depression or sadness or feeling like nothing's ever working out for me, the world is working against me, then I'm going to attract more of that, because that's my emotional or vibrational, dominant feeling. So when I'm expressing that, I'm not only expressing that in my conversations, but in my own mental state, in my clarity of my visions. And so your emotions really play a huge part in law of attraction, because whatever your dominant emotion is radiates everywhere in your life. It bleeds everywhere. You can't just wake up mad and angry at the world and then, all of a sudden flip a switch and now you're the happiest person and the world's going to bring you gifts. Like if you're in a negative state and you're feeling like the world is against you, then you're right. You will attract more situations where somebody doesn't hold the door open for you at the grocery store, or maybe someone cuts you off driving to work. When you're in a happy, dominant vibration, you're enjoying yourself, you're grateful, you'll notice the better things that happen in life. And you won't be as bothered by maybe someone not grabbing the door. And so what's so important about our emotions with law of attraction is whatever our dominant emotions are, right, is what comes to us. And what is the more of the focal point of what we notice of the things that happen around us. So if you're looking for something that you want, right? Let's say you're looking to land this job, then you need to be in a vibration of being confident, being happy, being self-assured, and knowing that you'll get that job. Because if I'm an employer, right, and I see two people, I see somebody who's happy and excited and grateful for what they have, even though they haven't achieved what they want yet. And then there's somebody who's walking around mad at the world because they haven't achieved what they want yet. I'm going to hire the person who's happy. I'm not going to hire the person who's mad, even if the person who's happy is not as technically as good as the other one. I'm going to hire the happy one because I want to attract and have people around me who are in a higher emotional state, a higher vibration, because those emotions will bleed into other areas of their life. And so you need to be the vibrational match of what it is you're seeking. And by doing so, you need to think about what are the emotions that what I'm seeking is going to be seeking as well. And then you can adjust yourself accordingly to where you want to go or what it is you want to achieve.
There's a famous quote that says, tell me who you're with and I'll tell you who you are. So some people are, sure, as you said, we are happy and we want to be towards that type of people. Or let's not say happy per se in a word. Let's say that you're a positive-minded person, right? That everybody has negative thoughts. I mean, we're supposed to. It doesn't mean that it's wrong. When it's bad and it's when it becomes a habit, that's when there's a problem. So we tend to be around people who have our same emotions also. They may not be like us on what they do, but inside they have the same emotions. That's why you're with them. That's why some people choose to be around others that affect them, and they say, oh my God, why am I surrounded by these idiots? But you have to ask yourself, why are they around you? And why do you permit it? And what do you have in common with them? Because if not, it doesn't mean that they're not gonna come, but at least you'll notice it before. And I liked your example about cutting you off in traffic, because here in Puerto Rico, cutting you off is like normal driving. So if you're not a positive minded person, you're gonna be crazy here because everybody cuts you off in traffic. So you have to be pretty much zen. In emotions, I think it's good that you start by noticing how you feel. I'm sure you agree with that, right? Because we don't usually stop and notice how we feel. And sure, you may be depressed, okay, but ask yourself why. Is it something that you can solve? Is it something that's beyond you? How other people resolve this issue? Because if you stay that way, that's when you make bad decisions. That when you attract, the same type of energy, the same type of people. And we both learned this because we went through it. And it doesn't mean that we're on the other side. We still have to experience things. But I went through it, and I was a pretty much negative person. I was pretty cynical, and I didn't believe in anything. I mean, it was weird. But unless I changed, then I could see, oh, okay, there's another side to this. So it's really important.
And I really want to touch on a point that you said, Juan, which was awesome, was about like your inner circle and the emotions of your inner circle, right?
Yeah.
Juan made a comment how we tend to choose to be around people who share the same emotions, even if they don't, want the same things. We tend to be around people who have the same emotions, and that's really true with law of attraction as well. Is sometimes we get caught up in our daily routine or our group of friends or our surrounding or our environment, and we don't exactly notice or are aware of the group we're around. And one thing is, if let's say you're in a depressive state, right, and you're wondering why these things aren't working out for you, if you look at your friend group and they're all kind of the same way, you're not going to be able to elevate yourself to a higher place because you're constantly surrounded by people of that lower energy. And I'm sure you can also agree that when you're with a group of people that are very positive, happy, high energy, and very grateful for what's around them, you will also notice that it's very hard for them to be around someone who's very negative. So it's very important to make sure you're aware of your group, because if you're trying to elevate yourself and you're trying to raise your vibration and your dominant emotions inside and get away from maybe being depressed, or maybe get away from that denial state, or that world is working against me type state, so that you can receive what you want, make sure that in doing so, you're not trying to elevate yourself while being surrounded by people who are similar, because it will be 10 times harder for you. And so if you are around a group of people who are very positive and high vibe and, manifesting the things they want, naturally your emotional state will elevate, your, intellectual state will elevate, your overall dominant vibration will elevate. And so make sure that your group and the emotional state of your group that you're around is positive as well, because that little bit of like hanging out with people who aren't in a good state, or kind of think, oh, nothing ever works out or whatever, that will bleed into you. So in order to keep your emotions high, you have to be around a high group.
Let's imagine that you want to be a successful entrepreneur, right? And you want to have your business, and you want to make a lot of money and make a change, whatever it is. How far are you going to get with people telling you can't do it? I mean, I love when people tell me I can't do something. I know how to deal with that, and that gives me more motivation. But not everybody is like that, right? And especially in the beginning. And imagine if you're surrounded by those people. I mean, you're going to doubt yourself. That's why these things happen. There's something in science called sympathetic resonance, and it means that things that are in the same frequency will vibrate at the same time. This is something from music, right? If I play guitar, and if I go into a music store and I play a string, it doesn't matter what key it is. Every other instrument that's in that key, it's gonna resonate, even if you don't hear it. So if it's true in there, imagine in our emotions, right? What we're vibrating out is gonna resonate with other people like us. So the people who are like us right now, you don't like them, you should start changing the frequency that you're emitting, because that's what you're getting, right?
Exactly, exactly. And emotions really, break down to being the most important and the key element of manifesting and law of attraction. Like, what it really comes down to is your emotions, your dominant vibration. They're the same thing. So if my dominant state is being happy and, knowing that I'll achieve what I want and knowing that I'll have what I want, and not being in a state of like resistance or doubt or lower, vibrations, then those things will come. So in order for you to receive those things, you have to be in the elevated emotional vibration, the elevated emotional state of just being happy and allowing things to come into you. And when you are happy most of the time, your dominant, amount of time, that's when things will come.
Yeah. But before we get to helping them how to get into that frequency, what does karma have to do with it, right? What can you say about that?
Okay, so here's another thing too, before we talk about receiving, right? So karma is more than just do right to others and right will come back, do bad to others, bad will come back. So karma actually plays a big role in law of attraction as well. And I actually love this topic a lot because it's something I don't think many people really know or understand. And karma is, through life we have many different karmic lessons. And what karmic lessons are is something you need to learn or something you need to overcome within yourself in your own life path before you can receive what you want. So I'm going to use that same example that I did from last time about, having that love relationship, that forever person. Yeah. Let's say my forever person his name is Tommy, right? And Tommy is this great guy who's really successful and independent and loves life on his own, right? But I'm over here in a low vibrational state, right? If I'm here and Tommy's up here, because Tommy has already did the work, I might need to go through another relationship to learn how to be independent, to learn how to, not be codependent and not set my happiness on someone. And once I learn that karmic lesson, then I can become a vibrational match to him. So sometimes in order for us to achieve what we truly want, we have to go through a certain karmic lesson. And I'll give you guys a work example as well, because a lot of people want to manifest money or a career, right? So if my dream career is to be the manager of a big hotel, right? Well, you don't just wake up one day and here's the keys to the hotel, you're the manager now. You have to go through, right? You have to go through a certain step, maybe being the assistant manager before you can become the manager. So it's all about our lessons that we need to learn before we can actually achieve what we want. And that's what some people, they get down on the law of attraction because they say, well, I want to manifest this big job. But then they wake up and they're like, why haven't I got it yet? Well, because you need to go through this step before you can get it. So you're on the right path. But people think that step first is a detour, when really it's just a part of getting you where you want to go.
Yeah, I mean, you can't, the way to demonstrate faith is by doing. It's not by like praying or just meditating. When you believe something, you act on it, and it doesn't have to be even a chore, because if you believe that you're gonna be rich, right? Whatever rich means to you, because rich means a lot of things for different people. It could mean $5,000 a month, or it could be $1 million a month. It doesn't matter. What matters is what matters to you. If let's say that you're earning right now $2,000 a month and you want to earn $1 million a month, don't you have to learn a couple of things before you do that? Because if not, you're going to get back. You can win the lottery, but you're going to lose it. So it takes time. It takes these types of events to happen, and you have to take action, like maybe getting a financial course to understand what are you going to do when you receive this money, and keep on doing what you're doing. If it's a business or if it's something that you're passionate about, I think life tells you what to do, but you want to jump to the other side instead of doing what's in front of you. I think, right? Yeah, I think that's the issue.
A lot of people want, they want it right now, right away, but they don't, they get kind of deterred by the fact that there might be some work beforehand. And like, it's, I'll again go to that love example, like, oh, I want my forever guy. Well, 15-year-old April isn't ready for her husband, like, so April's had to go through a couple relationships, and each one, even though it seemed like a detour or the wrong one, they were part of my karmic lessons in life and helped me learn, helped me grow, helped me evolve and be the vibrational match for that right person. But, when I manifested, oh, I want this thing, that doesn't mean you're necessarily ready for it yet. So in order for you to be ready to receive, you have to be able to be that match. And sometimes being that match means learning some lessons first.
Yeah, that means going on with what you said, being in the receiving state. So this is now when we start giving you guys like things that you can actually do. First of all, the receiving state is just what April said. I mean, you need to be a match for what you want. So if you know what you want, if you don't know what you want, please watch the first video and search for that first. Because I know a lot of people that say, I want more money. And then the boss gives them like a 50-cent raise and they get angry. So don't get angry. You just said whatever. So life is going to give you whatever. Success doesn't come from improvising. You have to be on purpose on everything. So being in the receiving state, just imagine, as I said on the first video, if you're in a frequency, right, like a specific type of music, let's say reggae, then you have to be on that vibe too if you want to attract things like it. So start by noticing, okay, what do I want? After you know what you want, let's say it's a loving partner, then you can ask yourself, am I the perfect partner for them? Because it's a hard question, right? But because you need to go up there, you need to go through that karmic levels, and understanding where you are is really helpful, right? It's seeing things as they are. Okay, maybe I'm not there yet. What do I need to do? I mean, do I need to love myself more? Just like maybe stop searching for that man everywhere I go, or that woman. Maybe I need to start doing things by myself. You're gonna find your own answers, but you need to find out that first.
Exactly. And the thing is too, is if we aren't ready to receive that big manifestation, we aren't that match, like Juan was saying, we will screw it up. And the universe doesn't want to give you all your gifts and then have you ruin it. Like, that's not the point. It's for you to have that forever guy and then self-sabotage it because maybe you haven't gone through the process of understanding yourself, or you haven't gone through the process of becoming fully independent, and you put all your happiness on him. Like, and then you get your gift, right? You get your manifestation, and then you self-sabotage it and ruin it. That's not how the universe wants to work for you. Same thing with a job. Like, if you want to be the CEO of a company, but you haven't gone through the hoops of learning how to be ready to be a CEO, then you get the job and then you mess it up because you don't know what to do. So it's all a part of getting you ready for what you want. And sometimes you can, people can get down on themselves when they say, I haven't received it yet. I'm going through all these hoops. Why isn't it here? It's coming. And every time that you go through that, you're getting closer and closer and closer. And the universe is getting you ready for that so you can handle it properly and have it stay. Yeah. The most important is have it stay, right?
And you can get, and it helps you also to be clear, right? Because sometimes you think that something's going to happen, or you want something, and deep down inside, it's not really what you want, or you want something different. For example, I had a client, and she was angry because she said, oh man, I mean, these guys are this and guys are that. And I was like, what's your problem now? And she said, well, I've only had these short relationships, or maybe a one-night stand or whatever, and there are no good men out there. And I asked her, all right, do you want a serious relationship right now? And she was like, hell no. And I was like, okay, then why is it weird that you're having short relationships if you're not ready for that? And then she thought, I saw her eyes change, and she was like, oh, so she's getting what she wants right now, or what she's ready for right now. It isn't bad. It isn't good. It's just what it is. And she didn't even see it. And she was like, oh, it's true. I don't want a relationship, formal one right now. And I don't know why I'm fighting this. And the conversation was over at that point, because for her, she wasn't noticing that the universe was getting her to be clear on what she really wanted. Then she became clear, and now she's in a committed relationship. But she needed to go through that. So it wasn't the guy's fault or the girl's fault or whatever. It's us. I mean, we need to, fix our focus and the vibes that we are sending out, because that's what we're getting in.
1 second, Juan. I'm going to shut the door. They just started chainsawing out here.
Oh, okay.
They're trimming the palm trees. Sorry about that, you guys.
I didn't hear it here, so.
I didn't know if it would come through the speaker, so I just wanted to shut that. But and that's another thing, is that when you're in a receiving state, right? That means you're fully ready for what it is that you want, and you're also not in resistance to it. So, like Juan was saying, like the girl didn't want that forever relationship, but she wanted someone to treat her good. Well, she was in resistance to the two things. Yeah. She wants someone who's going to idolize her and treat her well, but then she doesn't want someone who's going to do that. She isn't looking for serious, but wants to mess around, and is mad why she's getting people who want to mess around. So she's she's in a push and pull resistant state. So when you get very, very clear and detailed on what you want, that detailing of it is what's most important. So if I want the CEO job position, right? I really, really want that position, and I want to be able to help everyone at the office. I want to be able to close big deals. I want to be able to make a ton of money. I want to make sure the company makes a lot of money, and all these great things. I will be more in a receptive mode because I have all the details laid out than if I just say, well, I just want to make a lot of money. I want to be the CEO because I want to make a lot of money. Like, okay, so, well, what about the other people? Do you want to help people? Do you not care if you help them? Do you not care if other people, like, you have to think all of the details and make sure that what you're looking for isn't resisting what you're doing. Your actions and what you're looking for can't be different. You have to be in a balanced state of your actions matching up with what you want. When you're in a resistant state and your actions are going against what you're saying you want, the universe doesn't know what to do with you,
Yeah. So emotions are always going to win. I mean, emotions are always going to win. You can take, that's why sometimes I have I don't agree with a lot of the self-motivational people out there. It's not that they're bad. It's that I don't believe that part of just make it happen and take action. Yeah, but what if you're going in the wrong way? Or what if you're taking action on something that you really inside don't want to do? Or, I mean, that's why you need to be clear first before doing what you need to do, and noticing what your emotions are, because this is the order tends to be that this. You get clear, you challenge your beliefs, you get some emotion, and then you take some action after it. But if you take action and your emotions say, you're not going that way, I mean, nobody's gonna love you, you're ugly, whatever, your actions are really not gonna help you that much. You even could get the perfect guy, the perfect girl, and you're gonna sabotage it because your emotions are not aligned with it.
And also, in the same extent, I'm gonna flip it as well. So let's say you're feeling really happy and you're feeling really good, and you're saying, I really am looking for this person and I'm so excited to meet my guy. But then you go out and you pick up guys from the bar on a Saturday night, and that's your method of getting guys. Well, now your actions are in contradiction to what you're looking for, or you're looking in the wrong places, right? Or you're swiping on a dating app and you're got 8 different guys you're talking to and none of them are matching up to you, you're in contradiction to what your emotions want. So if your emotions are saying, I really want this, but then your actions are, let me do the things that are in opposition to what it is I'm looking for, or you meet someone great and you put no effort in, or you meet someone great and you've got 3 people on the side. Like if your actions also are in contradiction to what you want, then you'll never be in a receiving state. So being in the receiving state is having not only your emotions and your vibration be in alignment with your actions, but literally having the two be in alignment, and be the match. And if they're deterred this way, either this way your actions are off and your emotions are on, or your emotions are off and your actions are on, you can't receive because you're not balanced. So you have to have your emotions and your focus be in alignment with your actions.
Yeah, and you could actually use the law of attraction not working. You could actually prove that it is, because it is working. It's attracting. It's not attracting what you want, but it's attracting what you have in your mind. So it is working. It's just the thing doesn't change like an on-off switch. I mean, you've been doing this for a long time, and if you want to change something in your life, then it's gonna be uncomfortable. That's why people say, you need to go out of your comfort zone. Well, you're changing vibration. It isn't gonna feel comfortable. You're not gonna like it most of the time because you're becoming someone else. It's still you, but better or improved, or whatever you want to say, right? So if it's in a relationship and you really want to remain single, keep doing what you're doing. But if it's a relationship, do you want to be more serious, then you need to change the habits that you do and obviously the focus. But to help them more, what can we do to get into the state? Do you have an example? I mean, what have you done to get...
Actually, that's what I was going to tell you. Is I wanted to give you my examples so you guys not only understand me more, but have a real life example of someone who had to make a change, right? So I, was looking for that forever guy, right? And I would start out being on these apps, dating, the same type of here and there type guys, my behaviors were not in alignment with what I wanted and what my focus was. And what I had to do, which was not easy, I had to make the change of getting off the apps, stop dating guys that weren't up to my standards just because I was lonely, or, trying to find guys at a bar or a club. That's not where you're going to find the husband. You know what I'm saying? So I had to get off apps, stop looking in the wrong places, and really get in touch with myself and think to myself, okay, what would my husband want when he's looking for a girl? Well, he would want someone who wakes up and works out. He would want somebody who eats healthy and takes care of herself. He would want a girl who's not out on the apps or looking at the bar or the club. He would want someone who doesn't need to have a guy because she's happy living her own life. And so I had to make that change of separating myself from those things that kept me busy or, out of a lonely state. And I had to adjust uncomfortably to being that match of what he would want when he's looking for his partner, because he's not going to want the girl who's on the app all the time or at the club all the time. He's going to want the woman who's focused on business, focused on work, and ready to really build something. So I had to make that adjustment, even though my emotions were, I'm ready for my guy, I really want my guy, but my actions were contradicting. I had to make that change and change my actions so that I could be a match. And when I did that, it wasn't easy at first. It was hard because, like you said, change is very hard. And we want to resist change always because we like what's comfortable. But when I did that, I found such a joy in being now that match to him. And I've had the types of men who have now approached me and I've been getting to know are a completely different level of men than before. So that change in my actions actually got me where I wanted to be and receive the type of men I wanted to receive. So that was actually my example of what I did. And when I made that change, I got into a receiving state. I had guys reaching out to me I never would have thought would have ever had an interest. And so
Okay.
When you make the adjustment, your gifts will come. You'll be in that receiving state, and the law of attraction will give you everything you want, but you have to make the change.
Yeah. What I do is, in my case, is I believe that being in the receiving state is also good for specific things, but it also changes everything, because when you change, everything changes. And I'm sure when you did your work, a lot of things changed. Not only that, but the mind also opens up, and you get new ideas. You get sometimes we start off like wanting one thing, and when you change other things that have to do with it, right? You get more responsible, you get more aware of what you're doing. In my case, if I want to, I try to, if I want to get into a state of something specific, per se, let's say that when I started this, I wanted to become a speaker, right? And I was doing seminars, but it was job related. It didn't have to do with what I do now. So I was in the area, right? But it wasn't necessarily what I did. And I was actually doing speeches very differently. I was very formal. And what I thought was, all right, I have this opportunity. I want to do this. Why don't I get into the state right now in what I'm doing, even though it's not the same subject, even though I'm talking about medical stuff? So that's what I did. Instead of doing the regular seminar, and I was like, hello, my name is Juan, and I'm from this company, and today we're going to talk about electrosurgery. No, I started just like I do now. I say, what's up, people? What are you doing? What's happening? And I began to feel more relaxed. And I began to bring examples from real life, from my job, from what I was doing. And eventually, when I began to do the transition, it felt normal, because I was that person already. And today, it's been years, but people sometimes say, hey, you're natural in this. No, I'm not a natural in this. I became this person. I had to get into the state. And then people called me to be on TV or to be on radio, but I had to become that person. If I was still the same timid guy who was keeping himself small on stage, and I wouldn't be having what I have right now. So it's that, and we still have a long way to go. But the same thing happened when I wanted the car, and when I wanted more money. It's the same thing. It's asking yourself, okay, this is what I want. Then the next question could be, how would that person behave? How would that person feel? What would that person do? If it's money, well, how much money? What are you gonna buy? And how would you behave if you had it? Because if you're wasting your money all the time, believe me, more money isn't gonna change that. You're gonna waste it also. So that's when you get into the state, and you start changing your life by changing also your actions.
Mm-hmm. And that's actually one thing I want to expand on is sometimes, we, especially when people first come against law of attraction, they're usually not always in their best state, right? And that's okay. That's okay.
Yeah.
But sometimes like for me, I wasn't in my best state. When I first stumbled upon it, someone had recommended it to me, and I was in resistance. I didn't want to learn about it. And then the second time I met with them, they said, have you read the book? Have you read the book, The Secret? And I was like, no. And then I finally decided to. So you can tell right there the type of vibration I was in. I didn't want to listen to anybody. And a lot of times when we come across it, we have to make adjustments to ourselves. So we get into say, well, I want to, now that I know what law of attraction is, I want to find the perfect person. I want to get this job. I want to make $100,000. These are the things I want. Now I'm going to manifest it. But like you were saying, Juan, you have to think, okay, well, if I'm just sitting here as the same old April that stumbled upon it, and I want $100,000, well, they're not going to give me $100,000 if I'm not changing who I am or being the type of person who would make $100,000. So if I want to receive that, then I need to be the type of person who would make $100,000. What would their life be like? What would they do? What would they think like? What would they talk like? What would they act like? And that was the one thing my coach would tell me. She was like, Okay, so what time would you get out of bed? 11 o'clock? No, you'd get up early. You'd go for that workout. You'd go for that run. You'd get motivated. You'd listen to motivational videos or expand your mind. You'd learn more. You would connect more. And she's like, so you need to be that type of person that would make $100,000 a year. If you want to be the person that makes $1 million a year, then you need to act like and be the person who's going to make $1 million a year. You can't just sit on your couch and say, I want to make it, law of attraction isn't working for me. Well, it is working for you because you're not doing anything. You're not being that person. But when you become that person, you change your identity into being that person, then you will eventually be that. And that's one thing, like, let's say law of attraction with losing weight. Some people want to lose 20 pounds. Well, if you're just sitting there and you say, I want to lose 20 pounds, and you're sitting on the couch and you're still eating pizzas and hot dogs and not working out, you're not just going to wake up with 20 pounds gone. But if you say, what would someone who loses 20 pounds do? Well, they would go for a walk every morning and every night. Maybe you don't want to go to the gym, you just want to walk. Would they eat pizza every day, or would they maybe have, a salad? Or what would they be drinking? Would they have water instead of sodas? And so when you change your identity to it and you think of what that person would do, and you start to identify yourself to that behavior, to those thought patterns, to those processes, it now becomes you. And before you know it, you lose that 20 pounds without it seeming like such a difficult thing to achieve. Or you start making that extra money, the $100,000, without it seeming so difficult to achieve, because you've become that match and you've put yourself in the receiving state of being that person by changing your identity.
I mean, that's I think that's the the part where some people get a little hung up, right? I think it gets easier if you notice what is the actual thing that you want. And I'm gonna be specific about this. If it's money, then why? I mean, what's it's gonna do for you? Because it's never really money. It's never really the relationship. It's how it makes you feel. So if you can write down, right, like get a notebook or in your iPad or whatever, and I don't have a sponsorship by Apple, just in case. You can write it whatever you want. But if you have someplace, right, and you can write down, all right, I want this. Let's say it's a relationship, right? And right then you can write down, how would you feel with that relationship? Confident, all right, confident, happy, ecstatic, whatever. I mean, and then forget about the goal and begin to feel like that now. I mean, sure, you're not gonna forget about the goal, but just try to lay it on the side and focus on feeling that now. If it's confidence, then what do you need to do to be confident? And maybe it's changing your clothes, because I have a lot of friends that just putting on the right shirt or putting on the right heels, right? You feel more powerful, and it's weird because it's material, but it's creating an effect on you. And it could be something as a chain, it could be a ring, it could be just changing your posture. Focus on that, and obviously we're gonna get deeper into this on other videos, but this is you're gonna get an idea how it feels to be this person. At first, it feels like a lie. It feels like you're acting, and sure, you're acting, but lies sometimes tend to become truths, right? And if that's true, why not the good ones?
And I think actually our next week we should go on your how you identify yourself and law of attraction, how the two go hand in hand, because it's kind of what Juan and I are saying is how when you start to change your identity, right? I want to, be a powerful businesswoman, and you're going into work with sweatpants on. You're not going to be a powerful businesswoman. But when you change your identity by putting on those heels, putting on a nice blazer, and you say, I am a powerful businesswoman, you attract that to you because you change your identity. And like he was saying, with the emotions, this is where emotion comes in, right? How would a businesswoman feel? She would feel confident. She would feel ecstatic. She would dress well. She would, wear those heels. She would smile on her face. And so when you do that and you start to put on those heels or put on that blazer and feel confident and feel the emotion of what that businesswoman would feel, you start to become that. And as you become that, you raise your vibration to it, which means you attract that, and you get into a receiving state because your actions are following suit to that emotion. You're wearing the heels, you're having the confidence, you're feeling good. You're now in a receiving state, and you become that by changing your identity to be that. And that's really how the law of attraction works, is like, first step, emotions. Second step, going through the karmic lessons so you can become that. 3, being in a receiving state by having your actions follow suit. And 4, just changing your identity that's who you are now. And you will receive everything you want.
Yeah. Before we go, I need to say that I tried putting on the heels stuff, but it doesn't work for me. I don't know why. I really tried, but I can't. I don't. Yeah, my kids started seeing me in a different light, and okay, so I let it go.
The heels didn't work?
No. Yeah. I mean, we'd get more views if I started dressing differently, but no. I can live without it. Yeah.
Well, I think this was an awesome session. There's a lot of information in here, a lot of different topics. So, like we said, I'm going to break down the 4 points before we go so you guys can really kind of hone in. And if you have any questions on those 4 points in depth, let us know. First part is emotions, right? Emotions is number 1. Change your emotional state to what it is you want to receive and be. 2, the next one is going through the lessons and learning what you need to learn so you can be the match. 3 would be changing your focus, your actions. So becoming that, right? Playing the part, wearing the heels, playing the part, right? And the 4th part now is your identity. Do you say, I want to be a businesswoman, or I am a businesswoman? Because what you are seeking is seeking you. You just have to be into alignment with it. So when you say, I am that, you will attract everything that you are. We attract what we are, not what we want.
Exactly. Yeah.
So I hope this helps you guys. I hope you all have a wonderful day. Juan, do you have anything else to say before we go?
Well, actually, you need to tune in next Sunday because we're going to come with new material. And also to keep the questions coming, ask us whatever you want to know about this. If you have a specific example that you want to share, right, a story, please do it. I mean, I love stories. I love to notice how other people do these things. And I'm trying not to notice what just happened to you. What fell out of your ear? My God, I freaked out.
My AirPods. I'm sorry.
We supposed to have a blooper area, but because we didn't have one, just settle for this, okay? Next time I'll do something.
Next time he'll wear heels. It's okay.
Yeah, no problem.
I hope you guys have a great day. We love these sessions, and so we hope you guys do too. Definitely give us some feedback, leave us some comments, send us some emails. Subscribe to both of our pages right now. We have a lot of great content coming for you guys. So I hope you guys have a great, great, great week ahead, and we will talk to you next week.
Yeah, take care.
Bye.